Welcome back to the deep dive. Our mission, as always, is to help you cut through the noise, get straight to the knowledge that really makes you better informed. Today, we're taking maybe a slightly different approach. We're looking closely at just a single page from ET Online. And our starting point, the headline that kind of grabs you, the 40-year-old virgin turns 20, secrets from the set. Whoo! Now, hearing that, you probably think, okay, cool, some juicy behind-the-scenes movie stuff.
Right.
And yeah, absolutely, that title is definitely designed to make you think that. But here's where it gets really interesting for our purposes. This page, this like snapshot of ET Online, it gives us way more than just movie secrets. It's a much broader look, really eliminating into the whole, ecosystem of entertainment news. It's not just about one movie turning 20. It's about how pop culture gets presented, how we consume it, and how it's constantly being reimagined by the media.
Exactly. And that's our mission today. We want to go beyond just that one title's promise.
Yeah.
We're using this single page, almost like a case study, to unpack how ET Online structures everything. What themes keep popping up.
Yeah.
And ultimately, what does all that tell us about pop culture and how media platforms are constantly trying to grab and hold our attention? Think of it like understanding the blueprint of entertainment news, the main structures, the passing trends, and how it all comes together to shape what we see and talk about.
All right, let's dive straight in then with that initial hook. The 40-year-old virgin turns 20, secrets from the set. I mean, that headline alone tells you a lot, doesn't it? It signals a big milestone, 20 years, wow, promises something exclusive, secrets, and it's part of the series ET Vault Unlocked. What's the first thing that strikes you about this kind of look-back content?
Well, it's a really effective strategy, isn't it? The whole retrospective thing.
Yeah.
We might not actually have the secrets right here in our source material today, but just seeing that title is a great reminder of how much people connect with revisiting classics, especially for anniversaries. There's definitely nostalgia, but it's also about seeing it in a new light, maybe. And ET Vault Unlocked, it's not random. It seems specifically designed to tap into that, offering a fresh perspective on moments and people we remember. It kind of reinforces why they mattered.
Okay, so anniversaries are clearly a big part of it, but what else is in this vault? Like, beyond just marking a date on the calendar, what other kinds of stories does this series bring out? And what does that say about what we find interesting in entertainment history?
That's a really good question because the vault isn't just static snapshots. It's very much about the journeys, the people.
Yeah.
Look at how often they focus on celebrities' career arc. They're
Yep.
telling a story there. It's not just here's what they're doing now, but the whole path from early stuff to big wins, sometimes big changes or comebacks. It really speaks to our, I think, fundamental interest in stories and growth and just how these figures stick around in our cultural landscape.
Yeah, I was looking through those. Scarlett Johansson starting so young, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Pamela Anderson's whole journey, Lindsay Lohan's comebacks. It really is about tracing that whole professional life, which is often pretty dramatic. Why do you think we're so drawn to those career stories?
Um, I think it works on a few levels. For one, if you've been a fan for a long time, it kind of validates that connection. For newer audiences, it gives context, like, oh, that's why this person's a big deal. But maybe the biggest thing is that theme of, resilience, evolution, like Jamie Lee Curtis from Scream Queen to, well, an icon, Lionel Richie from the Commodores to global solo star. These aren't just job histories. They feel like stories of adaptation, reinvention. And the media gets that these personal sagas are super compelling. They offer inspiration, maybe, and that connection to the past.
And it's not always the entire career arc, right? Sometimes the vault zooms in on really specific moments, things like Malcolm Jamal Warner on Cosby or George Wendt's time on Cheers. Even heavier things like the Tupac Shakur murder investigation details or Adrian Brody's Oscar win. What makes those specific moments worth digging out of the archive?
It's about crystallizing significance, I think. These aren't just random points in time. They represent something bigger, a cultural peak like Tommy Boy with Chris Farley and David Spade, or a defining moment like Brody's win, or, a tragic event like Tupac's death that still resonates. The vault is essentially curating our collective memory, highlighting moments that struck a chord and still shape how we see these people or projects. It reinforces that entertainment isn't just disposable. It creates these lasting cultural artifacts that we actually want to revisit and rethink. Sometimes you see new things looking back.
Okay, so connecting the dots. This ET Vault Unlocked idea isn't just about nostalgia bait. It's a deliberate way to use that nostalgia, sure, but also recontextualization narrative arcs. It positions ET Online as a sort of guardian of pop culture history, offering fresh takes or just that comforting, hey, remember this moment? It's a smart way media keeps celebrating and, I guess, reframing our shared cultural past. Makes us remember why we cared in the first place. So we spent some time kind of peeling back the layers of the vault, looking at how history gets repackaged. But what about the now, the stuff that's happening right now? Shifting focus to the current content on this ET online page, what immediately stands out to you as reflecting what people are fascinated by today, and how ET is strategically covering it?
Yeah, that's where you see the real-time pulse. And what's striking isn't just what's popular, but maybe why and how the media feeds into it. Take the Taylor Swift category, for example. The sheer amount of coverage and how detailed it is, that's not just news updates. It's like an ongoing serial drama. Her presence there shows this just unparalleled cultural weight she has and the intense, nonstop public interest in her life, relationships, family. It's a whole phenomena.
It really is, isn't it? It's not just, oh, they're dating. It's Travis Kelce getting dad's permission, his own dad talking about it, even Donald Trump weighing in on their engagement. You get these tiny details like ring designs, podcast moments, fan theories about songs. That level of focus feels like more than just typical celebrity news. It's almost like a national spectator sport.
Absolutely. And it speaks volumes about parasocial relationships, where audiences feel this deep personal connection. For a site like ET Online, she's not just a musician, she's basically a one-woman content machine. Every move, every lyric becomes fodder for articles, discussions, speculation. It shows how media today can amplify and sustain that kind of intense fandom, turning a celebrity's life into this continuous story that keeps people hooked. It drives clicks, engagement, everything.
Okay, and then there's the huge focus on reality TV. It's not just tucked away. You've got dedicated sections for The Real Housewives, 90 Day Fiancé. What does this heavy investment in reality drama tell us about audience appetites right now?
It points to a huge hunger for, well, drama you can watch from a distance, right?
Right.
And these personal stories, sometimes with that aspirational lifestyle element. These shows and how they're covered, they become these ongoing sagas. People get really invested in the characters and their messy lives. You see headlines about Brandi Glanville's health issues, Larsa Pippen's looks, the constant relationship chaos on 90 Day. These aren't just news flashes, they're like the next chapter in stories viewers are already following closely. The media knows these shows offer this unique mix. It's relatable sometimes, escapist other times, and always has a hook for the next episode or article.
And it even gets down to the nitty-gritty, like Lisa Hochstein's expensive condo or Alexia Napola cutting contact with an ex. These specifics aren't just mentioned, they're tracked, almost like plot points, fueling the drama and keeping people clicking. It really shows how these reality stars generate their own ongoing narratives.
Exactly. The media keeps that feed going, keeps the stories fresh, keeps the audience emotionally invested. And speaking of narratives that just keep going, we have to talk about the royals category. Even with everything else going on, stories about the British royal family still have this incredible pull, almost old-fashioned in a way.
Seeing all these updates lined up, Kate Middleton's hair, Meghan Markle's projects, King Charles's health, the family drama stuff, it really is like a global soap opera playing out in real time, isn't it? It just proves that certain kinds of stories, no matter how traditional they seem, still capture massive attention.
It absolutely does. It taps into something deep, I think, interest in lineage, power, tradition, but also just basic human drama on a massive stage. And the media naturally caters to that. They provide constant updates, public image stuff, private health scares. The royals offer this reliable stream of content that blends history with modern gossip. It's a pretty unique combination and clearly a consistent draw for ET Online.
What's also really insightful, I thought, was not just what they cover, but how. This page shows different formats beyond just articles. There's Spilling the ET for more casual chats and ET Retrospective, looking back at careers. What does using these different formats tell us about how ET Online tries to engage people?
That's a really sharp observation about their strategy. Spilling the ET, for instance. It seems designed for quick hits, right? Shareable moments, lighter interviews,
Yeah.
maybe funny anecdotes like Andy Samberg mourning a dog or Regina King surprising co-stars. It feels informal, like a quick peek behind the scenes. It caters to that desire for immediate casual connection with celebrities, that quick dose of personality.
Right, so it's like a less formal, maybe more intimate glimpse, a different vibe than a big sit-down interview.
Exactly. And then ET Retrospective hits a totally different note. It's for that deeper, more nostalgic dive, but critically, it often involves the star reacting to their own past, like seeing Adam Scott watch clips from Boy Meets World all the way to Severance, or Gary Oldman looking back at his iconic roles. It's not just playing old footage, it's getting their current perspective on their own history. It adds this layer of reflection, of experience, this kind of dual approach, the quick hit and the deep dive, lets them appeal to different types of fans in different moods. covering both the now and the then of pop culture.
It really is a fascinating mix when you see it all laid out. Anniversaries, current reality TV drama, massive pop stars, royalty. This one page really does give you a surprisingly fast way to get a handle on what's dominating the conversation and, just as importantly, how the media machine is packaging it all. So thinking back, we started this deep dive with what seemed like a straightforward, catchy title, The 40-Year-Old Virgin Turns 20, Secrets from the Set. And just by carefully looking at this single page, this one source, we've ended up with, I think, a much richer understanding of the whole entertainment news landscape today, the strategies, the patterns, the cultural currents.
Exactly. So what's the big takeaway here for you, the listener, trying to make sense of all the information flying around?
I think the key thing is realizing that the context and the structure of information can tell you as much, maybe even more sometimes, than the headline itself. Our look at this ET Online page wasn't just about celebrity facts. It revealed these clear patterns in coverage, the thinking behind how they engage audiences, and really the ongoing story of pop culture itself. It helps you understand the why behind what the strategy behind how things are presented.
Absolutely. So maybe next time you encounter new information, an article, research, even just scrolling your feed, pause for a second. Look beyond just the main point. Notice the category it's in, what related stuff is suggested, the platform it's on. You might start seeing these hidden layers of meaning, the strategy, the cultural clues you didn't notice before. It helps build a much smarter, more critical understanding. And that leaves you with a really important question to think about. What other hidden patterns, what other critical insights could you uncover if you started consciously looking at the structure of your information sources, not just the surface content? What does the way information is organized and presented really tell you about what's considered important? Who considers it important, and why? That's maybe your next deep dive.